Okay, so trying to kind of keep up with, trying to make sure I keep track and not kind of lose numbers like I did before. So chapter 2, part 3, enter mal, mal for malice, and let's call this part malicious acts. When I lived in Hobart, I believe I was 13 when I moved there. 13 going on 14. I was there for almost 3 years. I think I left I left at 16. That's right. Or going on 16. So for about 2 years of that time, Mal it started out as the M word, or SA, and then it graduated to, if I'm using these terms correctly, I don't think it's considered the R word until there's penetration involved. Everything was involved, and he took his time, and I learned, I would say, in my maybe mid to late 20s, that the process of what he was doing to me from the beginning was called grooming. So you've got this young girl, and by now, he knows I'm the pastor's daughter. Another thing is, I'm so sick of this whole pastor's daughter trope. You guys, it's really disgusting and toxic. Stop it saying, oh, you know about them pastor's daughters. Is it possible that this is repeated by so many men because that's what they want it to be? And that's some sickness, that if it's a man that you believe is your superior, or has some sort of power, that a really great way for you to feel like you're on his level that he's probably not even on is to violate his kids. The nature of male with the competition and the destroying things and all that, it's so disgusting. Let's stop repeating these things because it sounds good or you've heard it being said so much. You don't know her. I was not fast. I was not promiscuous. And to this day, I really hate the fact, I don't know who started it. I tend to believe my dad did, to make himself be the victim, and to make it seem like I was trying to make him look bad, because I heard him say a lot of these things. But the fact that so many people decided to spin the narrative of somehow me being I don't know, a participant or a person who would just be promiscuous. I was a child, okay? I was a child, period. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. And I should have been protected. I should have been paid attention to. So, I'm a singer. He's a piano player. All of a sudden, I'm doing things, singing, and I'm singing with my mom at community centers and all that stuff, and we're just all over the place, and we're singing at churches and things, and he's playing the piano. But then anytime it's time where it could just be him and I, I'm getting this attention. I'm getting this attention where I get to be, singing and he's playing, or when we're in the house, there's all this interest in me, like this big brother interest in me. And but then it goes from that to a little bit more personal interest. So now we're you're making it a point to be in the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen, be around me, talk, all this attention, act like my teenage high school life is so important. You're showing up at my school. We got to have off-campus lunch. You're showing up at places that me and my friends go for lunch, and you're paying for all of our meals. So everybody's like, oh my God, he's so cool. He's such a great uncle, or whatever he was to our family. You're showing up when my bedroom is at the very back of the house. Just me back there. And there's a little bathroom outside of that bedroom. There's another bathroom, I think, in the middle of the house. But you're coming to this bathroom in the middle of the night more, or if I'm coming out of the bathroom, you're right there. Summertime is coming around, and I'm trying on my bathing suits and getting ready to go out with my friends and go. There weren't really like swimming pools. There were like these really dirty lakes. I can't believe I actually got excited about that when I lived here. But anyway, you're around a lot. Now you're getting handsy, but it's innocent though, finding ways to physically engage with me. And then it went from that to you waking me up in the middle of the night. I want to try something. I want to do something. And it went from there. He began going down on me And that was a very, very confusing situation to be in. There's this dissonance there. Your body is going to get aroused. It's going to do what it does. And of course, that act feels good. What's really messed up is, to this day, it's the only way that I could actually climax, because it's probably just the way that I was set up from then on. Because that was how I was introduced to the whole, like the actual whole sexual experience, was with this disgusting old man. Because I'm 13, 14, he's in his 30s, and he's forcing me to kiss him. And to this day, if I get close to somebody who smells cigarettes, I literally will vomit. I will feel it coming up. I didn't want to kiss him. By the time, it's like slowly warming up a pot to get the water to boil. This was a process. That took some time of gaining trust, and also gaining control, and also getting me to a point to where I knew if I say anything, I'm gonna get in trouble. People are gonna get hurt. Nobody's gonna believe me. And I was right. Because when I finally did come out and say something, that's exactly what happened. So it starts there with that particular fellatio act, and then it goes on to eventually getting to the point of penetration. And I remember I didn't want any of it. I did not enjoy over half of it. It hurt, and I said so. And when it got to that point, I did say so. And I don't care how much, money you're giving me. I don't care how much you're showing up at lunch and things like that. I don't care about the attention. I just knew that overall, my overwhelming feeling, even with some of those things that did bring me physical pleasure, was I felt disgusting. I felt like trash. It made me hate myself. I also felt a lot of guilt and shame because of some of the things that did feel good to my body. And as a child, you don't understand that. Your body's going to do what it does. A dead man's body, for a while, if you play with, what, it will still, it's even possible for it to still, it's just nature. It's just science. I didn't know that then. So I felt guilty. I felt really bad about some of that actually felt good to my body. And then there's that dissonance again, because although some of it felt good to my body, for every other part of me, it felt absolutely horrendous. And I carried this shame that did not belong to me at all. And by this time, there was a total mutual lack of respect between me and my father. And there was a huge disdain. And I'll stop it here, and I'll tell you about another defining moment during that time when I was in high school, that just furthered this emotional distance between me and him. And talk about how I finally found, I can't say I even found the courage. I think I was just finally kind of encouraged from the right person in the right space to finally actually admit what was happening. So that's it for this. Let me stop it here at 9 minutes.